How's it going, guys? My name is Dom, and today let's have a look at 7 powerful JavaScript methods which you need to know. The first method here is called sum. Now, you call the sum method on arrays, and it lets you know whether or not at least one of the elements in your array passes a provided condition. So, for example, I've got a list of names right here, and I want to know whether or not at least one of these names contains the letter H. So, in order to achieve that, I'll hop right down here, make a new constant called contains letter H equals, then we can say names.sum. Now, the sum method's going to return a boolean, true or false, and you're going to pass in a function just like this. We can say name, and this function is going to run for every single item in your array. As soon as one of them passes the condition, it's going to return true here. Now, this function needs to return true or false. So we can say here, for example, return name dot includes, then place here the H. So of course, it's going to run through every single name here. If one of these names returns true for this particular includes call, then we're going to get true inside the console here. So if I was to console.log contains letter H, then I'll head inside the browser, and we can see here in the console we do in fact get true. This next one here is called matches, and you call the matches method on HTML elements, and it's going to tell you whether or not the element which you call it on matches a provided query selector. So if you know CSS, this right here is going to be super helpful to you. So I've got this div right here with a class of container, and inside this container we have 4 items. Now, the second item here has a class of active and an ID of Apple. So we're going to use the matches method to test every item to see if the item has a class of active and an ID of Apple. In other words, I'm trying to find this div right here. So let's hop down in the JavaScript. I'm selecting every single one of those 4 items just like this by choosing the item class within container. Then for every single item, I'm going to run this code. We're going to say const results is equal to, then say the item dot matches. Okay, then within this method, I'm going to provide a few selectors. Let's go inside here. I'm going to look for a class of active, then an ID of Apple. So this right here is just like CSS. I'm saying I want the class of active with an ID of Apple. You can also pass in normal things, like you can use the attribute selectors, you can use :nth-child. Essentially, whatever you do in CSS, you can use here. If I was to now console.log the results just like this, we should see in the browser a false for the first one, a true for the second one, and then false and false. Let's go in the browser here. I'll refresh and we get false. Then we get true for that second element, and then false and then false. So we can see here, this can come in handy when you don't necessarily know what attributes your element has. Next up is a popular one called filter. Now, some of you may know the filter method, but if you don't know it, trust me, you need to listen right now. So we've got here an array of people. These are objects with a name and a salary. Now, we're going to use the filter method on this array to get back a list of each person that earns over $80,000. So filter allows you to pass in a condition, and if that item passes the condition, then it gets included in the result. So let's hop down here. We're going to say const high income is equal to people.filter just like this. Now, much like the sum method, you want to pass in a function here. I'm going to say person as the name of the argument here. Then we're going to say return person.salary is more than $80,000. I might just increase that to more than or equal to, just to include Dom right here. So now if I was to console.log high income, we should now see both Dom and Maria because they both earn over $80,000. I'll save this, go back in the browser here, and we get in the results here, we get Dom and Maria. So you can see there how you can use filter to filter out certain elements within your arrays. This next one is one of my all-time favorites. It's called cloneNode, and it allows you to clone text nodes or HTML elements. Now, you're most likely going to be using this to clone HTML elements, so let's have a look at this unordered list right here with a class of fruits. I've got 3 fruits inside this unordered list, and we're going to clone the list and then append it to the body again. So we can see right down here, I've selected the fruits unordered list right there. So let's say const fruits copy equal to, then say fruits.clone node just like that. If I was to now say document.body.append child, I can pass through here fruits copy just like that. So now I've got a copy of this list and I'm appending that to the body right underneath it. Let's go in the browser here and we can see we get nothing. Now, if I go inside the elements section, we can see we actually get that second unordered list right here. So it did work kind of. Well, the problem is we didn't do a deep clone. A deep clone means to include all of the descendants, including, in this case here, the list item. So just to clarify, we actually are making a clone of the fruits list. This one here, the copy, has its own attributes, has its own everything, but we didn't include the descendants. So let's pass in true here to make a deep copy, then go back in the browser, and this time we do in fact get those descendants, and all of these are actual duplicates. Now, this works really well for your small elements and for one-off situations, but be careful not to use this method all the time, especially when there's a lot of elements involved, because of course making copies of elements can in certain situations be resource intensive and may slow down your web page. But anyway, next we've got the map method. Now, just like the filter method, you probably already know this, but if you don't, trust me, listen in. So we've got a list of numbers right here inside an array. So we're going to call map on this array here to take every single number, transform it, and then return a new value. So we're going to end up with an array of the same size, but we get to run a function on every single item to change it if we would like to. So let's hop down here. We're going to say const numbers doubled is equal to, and then we're going to use map to double every single number. Let's say numbers.map just like this, and just like sum and the filter method, you pass in a function. This function is going to run for every single item. Let's accept a number just like that, and then whatever the return value is here, that's going to be the new value in place. Let's say n times 2. It's going to run this for every single number and then give us a result. Let's console.log here the numbers doubled, and we're going to get a new array. Let's save this, go back in the browser here, and we get here an array of 4 items, 8, 18, 20, and 24. Those are each number doubled. So this here comes in handy so much, okay? And look, whenever you need to take an array and transform the data within it to produce something else, map is going to be your best friend. Now we're going to come back to the fruits list for this next one. So this one here is called append. And if you ever use the append child method, it's going to be quite straightforward to understand here. So I've got this list of fruits once again with those 3 items inside of it, but I do want to actually add 2 more items, tomato and apricot, to my list of fruits. So we can see here I've used the document.createElement method or function to create those 2 new list items, and I'm also adding some text content for tomato and apricot respectively. So I've got 2 list items which look like this inside my JavaScript code. Now let's append both tomato and apricot to the fruits list. Now, we could do fruits.append child, then pass through here tomato, duplicate this line, then pass through apricot. This is going to work If I go back in the browser, we get the intended result right there, okay? But we can actually make this a one-liner. We can instead say simply .append, and now you can pass in multiple elements. I can say tomato, then I can say apricot. Save this back in the browser, and we get the exact same result. Now, what's also interesting about the append method is that you can actually pass in text as well, okay? So if I was to say something like this, if I say drink, okay, this here would append drink to the bottom of this list. Now, it may not render correctly because it is a list, or it does, but obviously in a list you don't want to have text, right? But the point is here is that in a normal element, appending text like that will actually append that text as you may expect it to. So the append method is certainly much more powerful than the append child method. And last but not least, we have the shift method. Now, this one here is very straightforward, but it does come in handy in very specific situations, especially when you're trying to compute some sort of information. So I've got a list of numbers right here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Let's say I want to perform some operation on every single number, but once I'm done, I want to remove that number. We can do so using the shift method. Let's hop down here and remove the first item from the array and also retrieve that item. We can say const 4 is equal to numbers dot shift. I'm now going to say console.log 4 and also console.log numbers. I'll save this and go inside the browser here, and we can see that we get the number 4. So we've retrieved that item from the array, but also the array has been updated to remove the number 4. Like I said earlier, this here is very straightforward, but I have used it in very specific situations, and I hope you're gonna have to use it as well at some point in the future. So like I said, it's mainly for computational things or algorithms where you're trying to work something out, and not so much in regular sort of JavaScript code. And that is all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that one and you learned something. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.